Hello, loves. How are you? So, welcome to the full moon in Aquarius, which is also a blue moon, which means there's 2 full moons in 1 month, which really doesn't mean that much because calendars are man-made. But we like to think of this as all special and unique, and this one actually is unique because it is in Aquarius. This is also really special because my Venus, my love nature, that's in the first house is in 8 degrees Aquarius, and the full moon right now is in 8 degrees Aquarius. So you can trust everything that I'm telling you. You can know that I'm speaking the truth through this reading because it's coming right through the true core essence of who I am. And, you know, especially too if you know about when I interpret astrology and do your birth chart book or give you a reading, I always tell you that Venus and the moon are what I most look to as the strongest influences of who we really are. So that's another reason this energy right now is who I am, because it's Venus in Aquarius, or because my Venus is in Aquarius at that 8 degree mark. And also I feel so much more like myself right now. It's kind of cool. I've just, with this energy coming in, I've just really been like much more in tune to the real me that I was before I had a lot of these violations and betrayals and really hurtful things that happened to me as an adult. I'm kind of over the childhood ones. It's the ones that happened when I was an adult that I'm still moving through. But it's funny because I've noticed with this energy that I feel much more like myself. So I'll probably be kind of more dramatic than I normally am, because I used to be kind of really dramatic, and then I started to hide from the world, so I started to tone everything down, and now I'm kind of feeling all dramatic and free and safe again to really be me, which is kind of cool, right? So with this energy, I have been getting so many messages for days now. It's like, you know, like I told you, we're kind of heading into some times that are going to be much more difficult for the mainstream folk out there. And that's why a lot of our star families are showing up now, and tools are showing up now, and things are really coming to the surface right now big time, because we need all of you to really hold that space of knowing you are safe, knowing everything is in order, knowing that there's so much more to this life and this world and this universe and this galaxy than this one small moment that we have right here. And I'm having my website rebuilt finally. I get to finally leave the 80s with my site. But I'm going to have a whole page on this new information that came through me. And I don't want to share it now because it's so special and it's so unique. But there's 3 different types of humans, and what we're striving to become is what is called the Galactic Vision. So the first 2 types of humans, it's actually called, you know, a being. But when you get to the 3rd position, you are a galactic vision. It's not that you're a galactic being, you're a galactic vision. So I'm going to tell you all about that later, but where most of the people are is still in that first human state, and it is where everything is right here. You know, they're completely consumed with what is just right here. There isn't that peripheral, there isn't that horizon, there isn't that hope. There is just like the doom and gloom of this moment right now. So we are going to be having people, masses, move much more into that space of holding this extreme fear vibration. So that's why, you know, because there's not time and space, that, you know, other beings kind of know what's already going to happen, you know, in our future, and it's kind of weird like that, but I mean, I think you understand. So they're already aware of what's coming, even though we're not even in it yet. And so what's the most important is that everybody really kind of, well, what's fascinating about it is that what everybody really do is tune into your value system now and find where you are not really valuing or loving who you are, because the core base of everything that manifests in your life is how you value and think of who you are. You know, we don't realize it, but we're always putting things into the future. We're always sending our energy out like feet out of our body in saying, if I had that, I would be happy. When I wake up and have all these sales from my store, oh my gosh, I'm so happy. When I fall in love, oh my gosh, I'm so happy. And what we don't realize is we're always determining our happiness and our value on things that are outside of ourselves. So when you have that still operating in your system, as most people do, you are not really valuing who you are. You're not really safe in your body. You're not really in your body. You're not really trusting the universe. You're still looking out saying, but am I being noticed? But am I being valued? But are people seeing me? But are people telling me I'm beautiful? But are people telling me I'm special? You know, I remember, it doesn't happen too often, but I remember getting this reading from this person who was like, I just want to be well known. And I remember just being like, you just want to be well known? Like, what is that? Like, how ego is that? Like, it's different if it's like, I just want to know that my work is making an impact in the lives of others, or I just want to know that people are receiving the benefits of what I'm putting out there, or I just want to know that I'm changing people's lives, but I just want to be well known. You know, I just want people to think I'm special. I just want people to adore me and want to be me. So that kind of thing is saying you don't have this solid sense of core love within yourself, so you need these things outside of yourself to make you feel more special and to help. It's like, you know, it's kind of even like when you're hungry and then you eat and then you know, you feel better. But it's like we don't need that, or we don't want that outside stimuli to be the thing that determines if we're happy or if we value who we are. So this energy right now, it's very focused on values, but it's also very focused on happiness and joy in life. So there's also, you know, and I ask you to think about that. Like, how many people do you know that are really happy? And can you even say, are you really happy? Or is your happiness only determined on circumstantial things coming into your life? Like, you wake up and you have all these sales. Oh my God, I'm so happy. You know, that guy just asked me out. Oh my God, I'm so happy. I'm so in love. You know, or can you actually just wake up, have nothing scheduled, have nothing coming your way, have no stimulation whatsoever, and just be like, I'm so happy. I love my life. I'm so happy. And is it something that withstands time? So you can go an entire week feeling that same thing. And what I know is that most of you are saying, no, I don't. I don't feel safe. I'm judging where I am by how people are perceiving me, so I don't feel valuable, and I think I'm a loser, and there's something wrong with me, so I'm not happy. You know, so the energy right now is really trying to get us quickly, because I'm not kidding, like the moment you find where that root thing is, where that toxic leak of energy is in your system that relates to you not valuing yourself, or still like looking outside of yourself for validation of who you are, the moment you really kind of go to that and penetrate it and try to understand it and then make peace with it, you can like zoom to a new space and zoom to a new level of energy manifesting out in the world. So in that respect, what is out of balance in us is something that we can get to quickly and actually heal quickly right now in this energy. Again, we are at a point in history where things are happening so quickly for us. So we're not diddle-daddling around with our wounds anymore. Like I always tell you now, it's like we have to face our wounds head on. We have to deal with our garbage head on. We have to deal with our shadow selves head on. There really is no time to play the denial game, to play, oh, it's everybody else and not me. It's of the utmost importance that we get as pure as we can in our body and in our mind, so that we can hook up to these other energies, other guidance systems, and really start kind of soaring in really special ways in our life. And I do hope that the screen is not cutting me off every couple seconds, because what I'm seeing below my eyes is that it's freezing. So I hope that's not happening, but if it is, it must be part of the message. So we're just going to go with it. I don't want to stop now. So anyway, so that's a big thing going on with us. So do accept that there's a lot of parts of you that you're waking to feeling vulnerable, you know, and feeling like, you know, you weren't seen or you weren't respected, or there's something from your past that gave you reason to now have situations in your life now where you're ultra sensitive and instantly kind of going into thinking there's something wrong with you. Like one false move and you go back to that childhood memory of, yeah, nobody loves me. I'm not valuable. There's no reason for me. I should just die. Nobody cares about me. So when that does happen, go right into it, you know, go right into it, cry your heart out, go back to being 5 years old and express as the most wounded child you can, you know, and then just kind of feel how much stronger you start to feel from it when you do come to the other side saying, you know what, I couldn't control that, but I certainly do not want to base my life now on how somebody who is not aware or conscious, how they treated me, or what they told me who I was, or what they told me how I would not accomplish anything in this lifetime, or I ruined their life, or I'm not good enough. You know, just kind of go back and see that from the other person's perspective and how they were told the same thing. And, you know, I say this often, but like, do you want to keep continuing this false belief pattern? No, you do not. So right now, a lot of things are taking us back to, old, outdated habits, patterns, beliefs. So this is even how, like, you know, you may be, and what's coming out of it is this new strength to say, hey, I don't have to do what you think I should do. I don't have to, you know, the thing about college just came up to me. I don't have to go to college just because it's ingrained to me that that's the only way I'll be able to get a job. I can try this other way out. So there's a lot of people who are going to be making lots of big drastic changes that are based on saying, I don't have to believe in the status quo, or I don't have to believe what my parents tell me I have to do, or I don't have to follow that path just because everybody else is following it. And what I want to do instead is I want to follow a path that has heart and soul. So I want to follow a path that is something that I want to do and lights me up, no matter, you know, how little the income is. You know, there's so many social, there's so many, what's that stuff called? Social work. There's so many jobs that are so valuable and so needed in this world, but they have a very small income attached to them. And because of that, a lot of people don't do them because we always think, oh, you're supposed to go towards the money, right? Being rich is where it's all at, right? Making a lot of money equals happiness, right? No. Tell me one person who has a lot of money who's happy. This is like something that's well known. It's that you get addicted to buying all these things to feel happy, but there's not a happiness. There's just this addiction to now I need more, now I need more, now I need more, now I need more. So, a lot of those jobs that we think of, they don't really have a lot of money attached to them, so a lot of people will just say, yeah, I'm not going to do that. But what we're feeling right now is that we're like, whatever, I just want to do what I love to do. I just want to do what I'm good at. And what I can tell you too is that a lot of people who do this work that isn't based on becoming a millionaire or whatever, little perks and things still end up coming down the road. You might end up helping someone who ends up, you know, winning the lottery. That's always my dream. Or has this extremely wealthy aunt who dies and then they leave you $300,000. Or you just never know what's down the road. You never know what great idea is down the road. You never know what huge opportunities are down the road for you. So we really just have to come back into our body, feel how things feel, and go towards that path. If it means you're going to go towards a career that you make $20,000 a year, that's fine. You'll figure out how to do it. But the thing is you're going to be happy, so you're going to be manifesting all these other things in life that will supplement that. And that's what we have to realize. We're shortchanging ourselves because we're going towards things in life that are based on what other people tell us we should be doing, or other people tell us we should be striving towards. And that's totally wrong. It's totally false. It's totally bunk. And we have to like start paving out these new ways of living our life that are completely and 100% molded around what feels good. So another thing, I have a movie assignment for you all to watch. I want every single one of you to watch The True Cost. It is, you know, I'm always saying this because I have for a decade been a documentaries addict, and I want to know everything that's going on in the world in terms of humanitarian, environmental, animal treatment. Like, I eat that stuff up. I've seen everything. But so The True Cost is another one. I've said this kind of stuff often, but this is one that you have to see. This is one that is so important. It's perfect for the energies right now. They do an excellent job on covering so many aspects of the fashion industry, clothing addiction, cheap clothing, exploitation of people in other countries. And they go down to so many levels. There's one aspect they missed, although one of the cotton farmers brought it up, and I was like, yeah, but it's kind of so frightening that people can't even get their minds around what this really means. So it's not something that they couldn't go into that in the movie. They were like, we better not even go there on that. You know, I could hear the energy of that, but they did plant it. And that was a good move because it's so big and it's so huge and it's so linked to cancer, to all the things that are out of balance in people's bodies. Now it's linked to that, but it's something that we aren't able to face right now. It's almost too much, and it's almost too overwhelming. But anyway, so that was a genius movie. It was so good. I was like cheering and clapping the whole way through. Thank you for getting the message across. But what a big part of it is it is showing how we've grown so addicted to this purchasing values to help us feel better about who we are. We're addicted to it. Feels good, you know, we get that high. It's like a drug when we buy something new, and then it becomes useless and nothing, and then we have to buy something else new, and then we have to buy something else new. So again, it's taking our body like a foot out of our body, where we are constantly like, if I had that, I'd be happy. If I want to strive for all this success in my career, I just want to be ahead, I just want to be recognized, I just want to be famous. If I had that piece of clothing, I'd be happy. If I had that machinery, I'd be happy. If I had that car, I'd be happy. And none of those things are getting people happy. That is not the way to happiness. This is why so often when people lose everything, like me, who, you know, went so incredibly into debt before my business took off, and did not, never had money for rent, always had to ask people, always had to be in this lower position of, I'm a big loser and I can't even support myself. And or that's what I thought when I was in it. Now I know it's a part of a journey that a lot of us have to do, because we have to learn to ask for help. But people who have traveled the road, especially people who grew up in poverty, they just they're much more in tune to what is true happiness. And as we all know, it does not come from any of the material things you own. Not one of them truly brings you happiness. So, well, there's some things that you can get fooled by. Well, I love that so much, but truth be known, truth be told, it's not really bringing you happiness. It's not really bringing you joy in life. So we are accessing a lot of that stuff right now, and it's pretty powerful and special like that. So you know, oh gosh, too many thoughts. This is why I didn't know if I was going to be able to do this video, because so much came through me over the past several days. And I also see that the screen is moving really choppy, and I hope that's not how it's going to play. I'm like, oh gosh. But okay, so a lot of this stuff too is you are kind of coming out of a cave. You've been in kind of a retreat space, all of us kind of collectively, at least that we're rethinking things over. So that's where you are kind of in that pulled back space, are rethinking about how you want to change your life, how you put so much importance in something, and maybe that wasn't something you should have called important. Again, going along the lines of following paths of others and not really doing what we want to do or what we think is right. And ultimately, everything right now is really about just doing what's right. and doing what feels good and doing what affects change and good things down the line. That's why The True Cost is a really good movie to open your mind to, you know, you're getting this one thing right here in your immediate space, but the effects of it are so huge and detrimental to our planet, detrimental to people's souls, detrimental to people's health, detrimental on so many ways. But it's like we have these blinders on, and again, we can only see what's in this moment. So we're really also needing to expand our vision and to think deeper. You know, that's what I always tell you, like, what you buy is what you're voting for. So if you look at it as voting, you know, if you buy factory farmed food, you're saying, I vote that that's okay. I vote that these animals are treated horrendously and harmfully and in totally disgraceful and disrespectful ways. So if you buy that, you say, I vote for that. If you eat that fast food that comes from factory farms, you're saying, I vote for that. I approve that it's okay you treat the animals like that. If you buy these cheap clothing made in China and all these places, you're saying, I approve. I vote that yes, it's okay that these kids work all day for 50 cents a day. It's okay. You know, so we really have to be conscious of how we're voting, because it's all voting. And if you look at it like that, it can change you a little bit. And so, and you know what was that one about? So, gosh, so much. This is painful for me because there's too many thoughts, and I'm trying to cohesively weave them together. One thing too, I had said that I was going to talk about the white lions, and I don't have the book with me now. I'm so bummed. I forgot that I was going to read what I opened up to. But I wanted to let you know that again, we're in a really special synchronistic space. So this is when insight just comes out of you out of the blue. That person just shows up out of the blue. This opportunity shows up out of the blue. And for me, every night when I was going to bed, I was channeling till like 3 or 4 in the morning. I was actually getting kind of annoyed because I was like, I have to sleep. Even last night I was doing it again. I'm just like talking and talking and talking and talking. And I really should just start having a camera or a microphone right there with me, because it's so much and it's so powerful and it so comes out in such amazing, cool ways. And then I always think, well, I'll try to do that again when I do the video. And now I'm like, what was I talking about? I totally forgot. So, but one of the nights I was up, and then I tried to go to sleep, and I was like, I just got to go to sleep. You've got to stop bringing information through me, like bite size, okay? You know, dude, I've got a life, you know? So all of a sudden, I just turned on the light. It's like 4 a.m. in the morning, turned on the light and opened the drawer in the thing next to my bed. And I'm like, what am I doing? And I end up finding in there the book on the white lions. And I was like, why am I pulling this out? And then I was like, okay, there's a message in here for me. So I opened it, and I think I'll even write what I read. Maybe that's what I'll do instead, to bring that message to you. But what I opened to was so powerful, and it was so about what is happening to all of us, where we are all truly waking up. Synchronicity and magic is coming to us to wake us up and to kind of show us a new way to see the world, a new perspective of what we've been doing in the past, so that we can start kind of creating this new way of honoring the earth, honoring the children, honoring the people, honoring everything. You know, just being beings that are honorable in how we treat people, how we talk to people, how we talk to ourselves. And what was really cool about that too is that when the white lions first came to me, I had a dream, and I talked about it on Facebook. I'd never heard of them at all, and I said, oh my God, I had this dream, and it was like with these lions, but they were white, you know, and it was such a powerful dream, and oh my gosh, and someone was like, oh my God, have you heard of the white lions? They come to visit in people's dreams. And I'm like, what are you talking about? So I got the book, and of course never read it, because I don't read books. Something happened at age 28, and now I never read books. I went from only reading books like a maniac to never touching books. I'll buy them, but I won't read them. To me, it's kind of like what I realized in my life is that you can channel the information, so you're bringing it down here, or you can read it from here, which just means it was channeled in the same way by some other person. And I'm like, I want the direct connection. You tell me what this means. I don't want to read it through somebody else who was told by you what it means. But so I think that's one of the things where I can't read things now. I just want to bring it through myself, or contemplate it myself, or understand it myself. So anyway, so I got that book, and they're just, it's really it's a really powerful thing. So if you want to check out the White Lions, I would do that. And I'm gonna write what I read, because I remember then I was like, I have to read this out loud on the video. But of course, you know, I forgot the book in the other room now. And if I knew how to stop this and put them together, I could walk into the other room and get them, but I don't know how to do that yet. I'm still waiting for all those people to take care of me with these things, because I have no idea what I'm doing. Another part of this is that, you know, so we're not looking at what other people are doing. And that's one thing I wanted to tell you too, is that, you know, I'm always saying how I don't follow any other astrologers, I don't read any astrology books, I don't read anybody who's channeling, I don't follow anybody who's channeling. I'm really big on putting blinders on in relation to what I'm offering, so that I can stay pure and as organic as possible. To me, I feel like if I read it in a book, or if I hear somebody else say it, I'm just going to be delivering it in my words. And to me, I so try to operate with integrity, so to me it wouldn't be worth it. I would be like, why am I here telling you this if you can just read that in the book too? That almost feels like my ego just needs you to see me, or my ego just needs you to watch me and think I'm all powerful and knowing, you know. So for me, I can't do that. I would not cheat you guys by doing that. So even if things overlap with what other people are saying, it's because they're tuning it in too, you know. And there is as I describe it, like a radio station, and we tune into certain things. So when we make the same connections, especially if someone is only channeling and not just repeating what's in a book, we have similar guides speaking to us, you know. They're the same tribe or something. But so with that, you know, I'm always kind of trying to tell you to try to do that yourself. Try to get out of the books, try to get out of Google, the main reason I always said that was because I want you to come out with integrity and authenticity with what you really have to offer. But I also realized, and this was something where like a week ago, all of a sudden over these 2-day periods, I was looking at all these people websites who are not necessarily even similar than me, but doing really good business. And with each one, I was like, good for you. Congratulations. Look at this mecca you are building. You know, with each one, I felt just like this really positive energy with them. And that's not normally how I am. Like, I don't look at anybody's websites, one, because I don't really have time, and I'm not much of an internet addict besides my own work. But what I realized too, for me, and I know a lot of you can say the same, is that if you see too much of what others are doing, especially when they're having success, it makes you competitive. And maybe not competitive in a way that's like wanting to really compete with them, but it makes you think, oh my gosh, I need to be doing more. Oh my gosh, I need to find a way to make more money. Oh my gosh, I'm missing the boat. Oh my gosh, you know, it makes you go faster than you really need to do. And that's what I've noticed about me until the past week when I was doing it, and I didn't have that anymore. It's almost like I've gotten over that. But that was what I realized too. One of the main reasons I didn't like to go to other people's things is because if they were shining too much, it would be like, you need to be doing that too. You need to redo this. You need to get better. You need to, and I don't like to be like that. You know, to me, being like that is a big old bummer, because again, it's taking your energy outside of your body and thinking you still need to seek something, thinking you still need to manipulate the cosmos, manipulate the world to get what you want. And what I truly believe is you don't have to manipulate nothing. You don't got to be manipulating no nothing, no nada, you know? Like, you just got to flow with it. And I want you all to really think about that too, because if you realize your life has unfolded perfectly. It all came together just as it should. You met that person just at the right time. You got that job just at the right time. What we don't realize is that it's like a movie that we're on. We're just not to the next scenes yet, but it's all flowing perfectly just as we need it to. Everything shows up just at the correct timing. You know, even I say that with my birth chart books. You have to wait so long for them because I have so many orders and way too many orders, but when it does show up, it's the perfect time every single time. Every single time. It's right when your body needed it. So, you might have thought you needed it before, but you really need it when it shows up on your doorstep and you didn't expect it. So realize that we're always kind of pushing ourselves to do more, be more. I need to be like that person. I need to be as successful as that person. I need to work harder. I'm not good enough. I must be a loser. Is something wrong with me? So, you know, this energy is really trying to show you, you know, that, you know, you need to cut anything out that is igniting that too quick movement in you. You know, so if it means you get really anxious and feel like you're not doing enough when you look at other people's sites, then don't look at other people's sites for a couple weeks. Don't go to those things that are burning you, that are triggering you, that are pushing you. Because you know, what did you feel like when you felt like that? You felt lack. You felt like you weren't valuable. You felt like I need to change something to create more value for self in my life. So by looking at what somebody else has that's successful, and if you don't have that yet, you're instantly kind of putting yourself down because you don't have it, and then scrambling like a maniac to try to figure out how to get what they're doing, and not really honoring that we all have a perfect timing. And I didn't plan on telling you about this, but it's kind of coming in again, or it's coming in with this right now. But so I just started a new offering yesterday called When Are My Dreams Going to Manifest? And this is something I researched 10 years ago. And I researched it because, you know, nothing was manifesting in my career. So even though I couldn't hold down a job, I had no money, I had a lot of time to do astrology research. And my moon is in Virgo in the 8th house. So, you know, my south node's there too in Leo. But I love research. I notice patterns. I uncover things 24 hours a day. Oh my gosh, did you know? I mean, I pick up everything. Like nothing misses me. I don't always show it because I learned to, you know, do it that way. But I pick it up. I connect it. It's always like I have a mathematician brain too, which I could have been an engineer if I, you know, had wanted to do that because I'm so good with numbers and stuff. But anyway, so the benefit is that it gave me a lot of time to do astrology research, and it would just be through wondering about things. And I started delving into people's charts because I wanted to know why some people were having success so easily and like with zero effort, and then other people like me could not get anywhere, even though I knew I had the most valuable genius product ever created. No, I don't mean to be that ego, but it's special. Like my birth chart books, they're special, and if you have one, you know that. You know it's everything you need to hear. It's your personal tarot deck, you know. So I knew I had this, but nothing was working out, and everybody around me, I always tend to be a success magnet. Like everyone around me has always blossomed, and now I get to blossom with them, which is really exciting. But before I didn't. I was always like the loser who you had to pay for me, you had to help me, you had to take care of me, you know, because I just can't even support myself, and you know, so I had to go through all that. But so during that time, I started doing all this research, and then I figured out these two particular things that were occurring always in the people who were having a lot of success. And what I had figured out for me is that 6 years later, I would move into that prosperity gate, is what I called it. And it was so far away that I kind of dropped it. I dropped that research, I let it go. With this new moon, with this full moon energy, it all of a sudden came back. Because one of the things I was wanting everyone to see is that we all have a time in the limelight. This is why, you know, all these people so effortlessly get book deals or manifest a big book, or their big blogs, or they're big people sharing messages. And I realized that we all go through these cycles, and sometimes we're producing, and sometimes we're creating, and sometimes we're bringing it forward, and sometimes we're just thinking over what it's going to be. And that they, you know, anyway, so it really came over me again over the past several days, and I finally was like, let me go back to that research. And I got all that stuff I wrote and what I figured out and what I mapped out, and then I put it to the test now. with almost like 300 charts, and I went through all the people that I know who are soaring beyond belief, and then I went through all the people who are so frustrated because they can't get their careers out there, because they tried this, they tried that, nothing works, what's wrong? I get so many readings like that. Why is my stuff not manifesting? So what I figured out is I can now tell you, and it's like, I think that's one reason too I'm feeling so like myself, because one, this is coming full circle from 10 years ago, and it lists when you're going to move into that abundant prosperity space, and then it tells you when you're going to fall back and go into a kind of a retirement where you create something new. And when we all take turns, you know, we're not all hidden, but we're not all stars and out in the public's eye. We also, though, are not all big time people, or you know, I don't mean that in a bad way, but, and then we're not all small scale people. Whatever it is, it's perfect. Whoever you're here to affect, it's perfect. And you really know what that's going to be when your prosperity gate opens, because what just naturally comes into your life is the level of how you're supposed to be affecting people in this lifetime. So like for me, you know, mine opened up, and I have been in every single thing I do manifests like it's nothing. I don't have to work for anything. I do work my butt off to keep up with everything that I have created, but I've never had to manipulate one single thing. I never think, how do I get bigger in my future? How do I get more out there? How do I get big time? Like, I never give that a thought, not even 1%. I don't care. I also am going kicking and screaming into my career because I keep getting more in the public eye, and I don't really want to be there. I'm not someone who's like, oh, I hope that everybody adores me. I'm more like, dude, this is kind of weird, you know. But I mean, I've grown to be cool with it, and I'm rolling with it, but it's not something I seek at all. And everything that has happened since my gate opened on November 11th has completely and utterly fallen in my path, and to the point where half of it, 3/4 of it, I can't even pick up. I just have to go, all right, someone else can take that opportunity, someone else can take that opportunity. I pick and choose which opportunities I jump into, but they're so plentiful, there's not even an ounce of fear in me, because it's just abundant, abundant, abundant. And what I realized is everybody who has their gate opening is saying the exact same things. They're all racing to keep up. They also, everyone that I've researched can see when the gate opened, their life totally changed. So now I can tell you guys this, and when you know it, it changes you completely, because now you know. Now you know you're in the gate, and you need to welcome everything and be focused on your career first, even if you have kids and even if you have family. If your career is open, if your prosperity gate's open, you need to be thinking about what you love to do, how much you'd like to make a difference, and be in that thing that you love to do as much as you can, so that you can welcome in the bounty that just wants to magnetize you, like it's doing with me and all these other people who are rising to the top. And then to also know that when your gate's closed, I can tell you when it's going to open. So you can be like, in 5 years it's going to open. Oh my God. And then, you know, I wrote this whole thing up to explain it to you and help you work with it. But when it's closed, it doesn't matter what you're doing. You can't, just like me, how for, you know, 14 years, I tell you, my gate was closed for 16 years, and then it reopened, and now I have 10 more years. So it was closed for 16 and it's open for 14, which is pretty profound and awesome. But that 16 years is how I tell you it took me 14 years to manifest my dreams, even though I created it 14 years earlier. That's why my gate was closed. I could, no matter what I did, it didn't work. No matter how hard I tried to push, it wouldn't work. So now, and I know I've at least walked it, and I can share that with you guys now. So when your gate is closed, I can let you know there's nothing you need to be doing. You're schooling yourself on something. You're learning something. You're in school. You're studying something. You're creating something. You're doing like what I did, that then now has to be something that percolates and gets better. And as you change and grow, it could be just that you're needing to raise the kids, you know, do whatever. And then when your gate opens, everything in your life changes. So I'm offering those now. I wasn't going to talk about it because I got so many. I just started them last night, and I got what I thought I would get in a week in 12 hours. So I was like, don't talk about it on the video. But I had to, because of this energy and what just came out. But don't think like you have to race to get one, because they're going to be there forever. You can get one if you want, but And it's the best thing that you can do for yourself. And I made them so affordable too, because, and my friend was like, no, you have to double that. And I was like, no. And I thought about it for a minute, but then I was like, but you know what? It's too important. It's too important, because this is something, also my blue guy, one of my main guides, he was the one who forced me to put it out last night. Like, I wrote 15 pages of this PDF in 40 minutes. That's impossible. I was just like, da, 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 da. I mean, the messages were just streaming, and I was like, okay, put it together, there we go, bada, bada, boom, boom, send. And it's because we all need to establish these new ways to feel solid and safe and grounded, so that we're not fucking with our future and always thinking we're so messed up and always pushing ourselves into areas that we're not being allowed into yet. If our gate is not open, you are not going to move into the places that you're desiring right now. Not to say that it means you have to be like me, where you just couldn't find a job, but that's because I wasn't happy with it. I still thought, no, I'm supposed to be doing this other work, so I can't keep working in cafes and coffee shops. If I had that wisdom now, I would know there was nothing wrong with working in cafes until I was 41, which is what I did. Now I know there wasn't anything wrong with it. It was supposed to be like that. I was learning skills. So what we also have to realize is, you know, because what I see with a lot of people too, where their gate is closed, they're seeking these jobs up here that they know they want to do, but there's this energy that keeps sucking them back into an old job. And that's what happened with me. I would quit a job and I'd be like, I'm going to work on my birth chart books. I'm going to get out there. I'm going to get this message out. And then I would get sucked back into a coffee shop, or I'd get sucked back into a bakery, or sucked back into a chocolate shop even. But so I would get sucked into them, and that's what happens with a lot of you when your gates are closed. You get sucked back into this other job, and now you know, when I give you your dates, if I say your gate's closed, you will now know it's supposed to be like that. And it doesn't matter. It doesn't say anything bad about you. It doesn't mean you're less than or you're unworthy. It means your gate is closed and you're learning something there. You're learning something in those jobs that keep sucking you in. You're learning something, you know, even in getting ourselves more pure and higher vibrating. You're learning something from the provocation that comes from that job about who you really are, and about what needs to be healed and brought into right action or higher vibration. So there's a perfect orchestrated plan to that. And then when your gate opens, it all changes. When your gate opens, the opportunities come, the jobs come, people see you. And the only way you hold that back is if you're still, and I write about this in the PDF I send you, if you're still like so used to things not working and doubting yourself and holding on to these old mental things, then the abundance can take longer to get to you. But if you know, it's going to shift you. By me telling you, your gate's open, dude. Run with the wind. It's going to shift you. Even me being like, I've got 10 more years of this. How lucky am I? And then it closes at like 54. And then it reopens again when I'm 70. So at 54, everything that I've created now that is sustainable will still be what I'm doing, but I won't be how I am now, where I'm like, and here's another new product, and here's another new offering, and now I'm doing this with this other thing. It's where we kind of retire almost to create something new or learn something new, or, you know, maybe something in my life at 54 will take over. Maybe I'll be like more into relationships at that time. You know, maybe I won't be so all work and no play like I am now. You know, so but it's a natural thing where I'm now giving myself a break. I was out in the world pumping, and now I'm just going to be like, okay, I'm like chilling in hammocks and partner and and love, and so we'll see how that goes. So I'm really honored to bring this to you, and I'm really stoked that it came from 10 years ago research, and also that I pretty much have totally forgotten about it. Until, like I said, you're going to be getting these kind of divine inspirations that come out of nowhere. We always have that with Aquarius. We always have that synchronicity that just kind of then, you know, you bump into someone at the store and your life changes. I always like to tell you that too, like even with your career, you know, we tend to compare ourselves, look at how good they're doing, but and I said this, I was going to put this in the video last week. I thought I need to tell that to them, you know, how to just keep, you know, even like with me, I mean, I'm always like, like, who's to say that like in 3 years I don't get this amazing book deal that totally changes my life because it's a big time publisher? Or who's to say, like, I just think like that. And I think we all need to think like that, because you don't know what's coming up. And days after I said this to you, well, I didn't say it to you yet. Isn't that funny? That was the voice talking to me. Days after I said this to you, I'm like, I know, you told me. Days after it was spoken to me and brought back into my consciousness that I had this project that I forgot about, that's actually valid and is accurate and is a life changer. Days after I said that everybody needs to, or days after I went into that thought of, you know, keeping your eye on the horizon and not knowing what's coming, but to be excited for it. Days after that happened, that whole insight came in about what I'm calling the prosperity gate. It's not really a reading. It's kind of a reading. But, and then I launched it last night. So it came out of nowhere. 3 days earlier, I would not have known I was doing that. Even 2 days earlier, I would not have known I was offering that. So right after I was saying that I was going to tell you guys to keep your eyes on the horizon because you never know what's just down the road, bam, this thing came into my life that has taken off like a wildfire. And I kind of knew it would yesterday. I was like, everybody's going to want this because we need this. I mean, it's changed me knowing I got 10 more years now. That was one thing too. When I first researched it, I saw when it was opening, but I didn't check out when it closed because I have to do something else to figure out when it closes. And I only looked at when it opens. And I'm like, whoa, now that I'm in it for, 4 years, how much more do I have of it? And to find out 10 years was pretty exciting. One of my dear friends, her whole thing is like 17 years combined. So she has like 3 more years than me, but that's pretty cool. So yeah, so I'll put that link down below, and fortunately I can train my assistant to help me with those. So that's kind of good. So I think, 45, we're getting up there. So, expect to be moved, provoked, shifted in a good way. It can come as something that kind of stings you, but expect right now that things are coming your way that completely have you looking at your path in a different way and making decisions that you had not expected. So things coming out of the blue that kind of, oh my gosh, open you to a new kind of path that you need to take that is all based on heart and soul, and really making you happy, and realizing that, yeah, you might have to let go of some of these superficial things, these material addictions, people in your life, thinking you need this, thinking you need that. There is a lot of let go of those kind of things, but what we're making way for is that true beam of love, light, happiness, joy, wellspring of what really makes you happy and content and feeling safe in life. So the potential for this is amazing, and the potential for this is to have you feeling so outstanding, so profound, so just like awakened in a way to like, oh my gosh, I can't believe I was digging around in that hole for years that wasn't going anywhere anyway, and all I needed to do was really turn my perspective around and look in a new direction and be like, look at what I have, look at what I have. So it's kind of that kind of thing of you were going in the wrong direction, pounding at something, and now you just really need to kind of shift it around and really just do what you want to do. And that's the one that this screams of. Doesn't matter what anybody else thinks you need to do. That was their path. That was before we entered this Aquarius vibration energy. That was before we were conscious of what's really going on behind the scenes in the world. So a lot of our old, think about how people who do think I need to be a lawyer or whatever, I will only be happy if I have a BMW, all those kind of things. A lot of people, have sacrificed something that they were really good at, like being an art teacher, but being like, no, I'm not going to make a lot of money at that because it's all about money. It's all about money. And I can tell you what, when you don't have money, which I have most of my life, have not had money. I've never been in a privileged position. I've never had people take care of me except when I had to ask, can you please help me with rent? But as for like someone just helping and offering and here and let me buy that for you, like I didn't have that. So I can tell you that there are ways to function without having a lot of things, and there are ways to enjoy life without having a lot of money to buy all these things, because I did it for, you know, a couple decades. So, and look at how happy I am. But okay, I'm gonna go. I've got things to do today. I'm gonna get the written horoscopes written later today after I get some work done now. You have a beautiful blue moon in Aquarius, and I will see you in 2 weeks with the new moon in Leo. Okay, bye.